What are these colors, man? Imagine having a home screen set up like this and submitting it with a straight face. I'ma be real, bruh. Don't make nothing else. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Racist? Sup, Rotten? It's been a while. Haha. My bad. If you're new here, the link in the description lets you send me your lock screen and home screen layouts for me to judge and grade. Home screens are not limited to phones or tablets, but literally any device with a screen. We are now currently at 4,286 responses. Your chances of getting picked are super slim, but not impossible. But if you want a guaranteed spot in the next video, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Not only will you help support me and my content, but if I get enough patrons, I can one day make this series ad-free. If you can't support financially, that's completely fine too. But if you want to turn this into a consistent series again, I'm gonna need you guys to do your part and like the video. I get bombarded with comments every day about this series, so I expect you guys to keep that energy. Trust me, these videos are a lot of work. Also, if you're curious, I cover submissions no matter how long ago they were sent, and you can check the date at the bottom right of the submission message. So there's a good chance I haven't gotten to you yet, or your submission sucked so bad that it wasn't worth sharing over the next person. Truth hurts. Now, without further ado, let's get into... I just recently installed Linux 5 days ago. First, I installed KDE. Then I moved my taskbar up, centered my apps, and put my launcher on the left, and then I added the global menu. It is supposed to look like a mix of Windows and Linux. Here's what I'm using if anybody wants it. I'm liking the setup. My only critique is probably the font choice. I think something more stylized would work better here to fit the overall theme of what you got going on right now. Better yet, why show the date and time in the first place when it's already displayed on your taskbar? Hey, here are my home screens. Not much has changed from last time, just refinement really. My philosophy here is to be as functionality minimalist as possible without losing my functionality or quick access to my most used apps. My wallpaper on my cover screen is my fursona. Yes, furry alert. Her name is Lila Uraraka. Her species is a wolf, a Foxwolf hybrid. Her fox side represents my quiet and clever side, while her wolf side represents my resourcefulness and loyalty to my friends, family, and chosen family. Let's see what our favorite furry has been up to. Oh, I see you tried your best to show off your OC without compromising too much because you had to have all those folders on your home screen instead of using the app drawer. Also, I don't think that shade of pink works here. It doesn't really complement the colors in your wallpaper. Your OC is very well drawn though, so you get some extra points for that at least. Side note, considering the other furry characters are wearing clothes, is it safe to assume your OC is butt-ass naked? She's loyal to her family, but could it be loyal to some clothes? With that context in mind, it does look like your widget and app placement make it look like she's teasing you, which is kind of funny, not gonna lie. Sup, Rotten? I have a Motorola Edge 2025 because I'm broke. It's running Android 15. I use lawn chair and one UI fluffy icons, and the pill at the top is an app called MT Capsule. Love you, Rotten. Hey, you trying to sweeten me up to get a better grade? Teacher's pet, teacher's pet. See? This is what I thought Google meant by Material 3 Expressive. Instead, I just got some squiggly lines. Anyway, I both like and hate what I'm looking at here. First, the wallpaper gotta go. It doesn't do the material any justice. Second, everything but the Google apps look terrible. The white outline certainly doesn't help either. Not sure what happened to the Starbucks logo to make it look like that, but do me a favor and uninstall that eyesore. Thank you! I went with an old iPod Touch because it has the touchscreen interface of iOS without the constant distractions that I get from my actual iPhone. The software is pretty limiting though. Couldn't even get a wallpaper on my home screen without jailbreaking the thing. Sorry for the low quality screenshots. I left the charger at work, so the best I can do right now is send photos of the screen taken with my phone. I don't understand why you would need a charger to screenshot when your phone is fully charged. Am I missing something here? Anyway, I gotta give some points for the vintage iPhone. Good one, but it's hard to accurately make out how the colors of your apps and wallpaper look together with the photos you took, which was, I'm assuming, is an Etch-a-Sketch. Can't give you a confident grade, but your layout isn't bad, so I won't fail you either. I only have a single page here since multiple gives me anxiety. Clean and simple too. Not overdone, but still nice to look at in my opinion. Now that's a Starbucks logo. I like the colors a lot, though I would have preferred a little more personality than a solid colored wallpaper. The layout is perfect, so no complaints there, and having everything on one page makes this even better. And you're on full battery? Oh, you came prepared, huh? Great work. Sup, Rotten? Back to this again. It's been a good while, and my main phone's home screen setup has evolved quite a bit since October. Even though I got an A+ last time, I knew I could improve upon my nothing phone, Slater Princess setup in particular. And I also wanted to support your channel again to keep this series going. It's so much fun to watch. Aw. Back to the nothing. My older setup didn't feel as on theme as the Stanley Parable iOS one was. I knew I could make something better in that regard, while also less overstimulating. I cut most of the excess and added in more Slater Princess references. Yeah, there are only two, kind of, characters in the two central objects of the game, and a way to complement the layout. Last but not least, I added my cat, Bucci, as a cherry on top, and two widgets I made with Nothing's Playground widget tool. I wanted page 1 to be the serious one, page 2 to be the fun one, and both to share the same hourglass formatting. That's all. Hope you like it as much as I had fun making it. And sorry if the text is a bit too long. Too long? Believe it or not, I actually cut a section of it. Certified yapper we have over here. Honestly, I would have never thought pencil work and a minimal pixel dot aesthetic would go together, but it does so well. I love the trees being in the foreground covering part of the clock. Very nice. And that goes for your home screen pages. Not sure if there's a name for it, but I like whatever this is a lot. My only critique is that I feel like there are too many apps on here, which takes away from the wallpaper widget art combo you have set up. I would get rid of at least one row. Overall though, very cool and very unique setup here. Nothing I've ever quite seen before, or remember anyway. Now, before we get to the general submissions, here's a word from the sponsor of this segment of the video. Upgrading to this M5 Pro MacBook Pro has been an incredible leap in performance, but there is a hidden bottleneck when you upgrade your editing machine: getting your heavy video files onto the computer in the first place. That is where today's sponsor comes in, the Llano 2-in-1 SF Express Type A and SD card reader. If you're shooting on modern cameras and dealing with massive high bitrate video files, you know that waiting for footage to ingest can completely stall your creative momentum. This SD card reader solves this by seamlessly supporting both SF Express Type A and standard SD cards in a single sleek, compact device. As someone who appreciates a simple and clean aesthetic for my workspace, I love that it doesn't add any unnecessary clutter to my desk. More importantly, it's incredibly fast, utilizing a high-speed USB interface to push your data at blazing speeds. It's built with a durable aluminum alloy body that dissipates heat perfectly, so it won't throttle your transfer speeds when you are dumping an entire day's worth of shooting. Plus, it's totally plug and play right out of the box with this new Mac setup. Don't let slow ingest speeds hold back your editing workflow. Hit the link in the description below to grab the Llano 2-in-1 card reader today. And huge thanks to Llano for sponsoring this segment. Now, back to the video. I went for a minimal black and white theme. I also love nature. That's why the picture's there and for the background. I really like this minimal approach, but I'm not going to pretend like it's not super ugly in practice. For one, you have several fonts displayed here, two of which serve the exact same purpose. Speaking of inconsistencies, you have two different solid colors here. Pick one, and if you're going to go with solid, don't add a transparent element. It looks tacky. You have folders as well, though tidy. I wouldn't let it slide, but that colored widget right below it pisses me off so much that I'm dinging you for both. Like, read the room, man. Also, do you really need the entire forecast on your screen like that at all times? Would it be so wrong to tap the widget to see more details instead? If I'm being honest, the only page I like is the center one. Everything else could go. This is Niagara Launcher, but I replaced the default clock with the widget. The widget at the top is a KWGT preset I found somewhere, but I customized it. Oh, here we go again with the Niagara Launchers. I like the wallpaper and widgets and all, but there goes the app list stuff. I don't care how many of you are there trying to convince me it looks good. It doesn't. Good luck with your grocery list of an app layout though. The black home screen is about a month old. I just changed it to the turtle one, but please don't affect my grade. Imagine having a home screen set up like this and submitted it with a straight face. No, better yet, with excitement. Throw the whole phone away, man. I love the yellow color so much. I want the color to be consistent. I have few widgets to show off my hobbies, and I made the widgets a shortcut to certain apps like Walkman for music player and Guitar for my guitar learning app to make them functional. Lastly, the use of black wallpaper to make it easy on the eyes, plus it saves battery on an AMOLED screen. This home screen setup is a great example of things I both love and hate. I really like the theming with both the color yellow and the objects that both serve as expressions of your hobbies and function as genuine app uses. Very nice. However, 3 straight pages of folder clutter is crazy. And though I may like how your mind works, there's a whole lot of cleaning up to do, even if the sins are organized. How dare you play with my emotions? I tried to keep my phone boring so I'm not constantly addicted to it. And boring, you made it. But I think ugly is the stronger first impression here. What are these colors, man? Some of you genuinely need to be locked up. On the lock screen, I have a battery widget, which usually shows my watch, headphones, or my phone's battery, Duolingo, Spotify widgets, and my Apple Fitness rings. For the home screen, I wanted to go with a blue theme, but not fully. So I put colorful icons for apps like Snapchat has yellow, YouTube has red, etc. This setup definitely shows personality, I'll give you that. But I don't know if it's strong enough as a unit, you know? I mean, one of your pages is straight up disposable, and I don't know if I'm a fan of the multi-shaded blues you use for the app icons. And labeling your folders with little emojis don't make the scent any better. I just wanted a little minimalist, but I like space too, so why not an astronaut? You have a decent lock screen and a really strong first page, but then it gets cluttered. Clean that second page up a bit, and I think you'll have something truly special. Just regular iPhone aesthetics. So y'all trying to piss me off on purpose, huh? I know someone who used a Samsung S3 but now doesn't, so I looked inside of it and I like the TouchWiz UI, so I tried to make it look like it. In the middle to top one is my apps that I use often. Hi from Turkey. Shout out Turkey. Nice of you to show us a blast from the past, man. Such a simpler time. And it's lovingly consistent and pretty clean too. I use a lot of default apps because of how they can be customized. I used every single app you see on the home screen. I used to have 3 pages, but it was annoying having to look for all my apps when I needed them then. I know that sounds lazy, but I didn't even use most of the apps on all 3 pages, so I minimized it to 1 and just used the search feature on every other app. Good! I like that you did manage to reduce your pages, but outside of your wallpaper, there's not much personality here. I think changing your app colors to better match the color and tone of your background could have helped. Like for instance, your wallpaper kind of reminds me of a wallpaper that would be used in like a nursery or a child's room. Maybe you could do something with that. I don't know.
Just something cutesy.
Cutesy it is. I can see that game is life for you, and I respect it. They're not so much in a way that you can't enjoy the wallpapers, so I allow it. I like how the lock screen and home screen complement each other as well. Good job. I really like blue and yellow. I also wanted my home screen to match my phone case, which has the same color scheme. Since my background is plain, I decorated the space with app icons of things I like. And before you mention the home dock, I have the apps memorized by color. Now this is what I'm talking about. The colors, theming, and formatting are top notch, and it oozes personality. I love the little icons you have here, and I would have given them more points if they were actually related to the apps they're representing. I see some of them are, but others seem sort of random. Either way, I like what you did here. I went for sort of a minimalistic approach here, but I didn't want it to be too plain, so I added a few pictures to do the trick. The lock screen is just one of my pictures. Sub to Ryan Apple. You should listen to this guy. Okay, this is a fantastic shot you have for your lock screen, and I feel like it sets the tone really well with the rest of your setup. I typically aren't a fan of plain solid colors for wallpaper, but I think it works here somehow. I'm just not a fan of some app icons being stylized and smaller than the others, as it highlights the lack of consistency I'm seeing across your work, not to mention those folders. I don't know, man. There's potential here, but it needs a little more work. A clean, calming, minimalistic setup. Now this is clean. I even like the date widget you chose. It fits very nicely. Not to ruin your vibe, but your flower is a bit off center, and I hope you can't see it from now on. Wait, no, your apps are a bit off center. What the? How did you manage to do that? Ew. My vision is very beach and relaxing. I live on an island. The wallpaper is one I took using my phone. Ironically, I somehow don't really feel relaxed looking at your home screen. Nothing screams relaxation more than cluttered apps, widgets, and folders covering my view. Next time you're at the beach, be sure to bury your phone in the sand and reevaluate what relaxing means. Love the photo though, and I can see you have your very own poop spot. Good for you. I chose the wallpaper to be the same color as the phone and made the apps change throughout the day with one of the Siri shortcut widgets. The fact that you peaked with the lock screen is crazy. After that, it's just straight slop. Just rows and rows of apps and even more apps. Thank you. I hate this. It's fine. Not too great though. Off rip, I could tell that wallpaper has serious potential to make a pretty sick, unique home screen layout. Unfortunately, it belongs to someone who has more folders on his home screen than actual apps. I'm gonna need you to call those people in your widget and tell them to take your phone away. You're not worthy. The first page has nothing much. See what I did there? Only a single widget that shows the date and the weather conditions. But the second page has all the apps that I use on a daily basis. You nothing phone owners have not been missing as of late. I'm a big fan of whatever this this is here I'm looking at. So much, in fact, that I almost didn't notice the folder. The fact that you made these various shapes all fit together nicely is a huge plus. I do think the overall placement is a bit awkward though, given all the free room you have at the top. Either way though, solid work. Just stop playing around and get rid of the third page. I gotta ding you for that. I like old Windows logos for some reason. It's definitely cool, but the fact that you have literally nothing else to offer makes this potentially cool setup absolutely plummet in the aura department. I almost yawned looking at this. Oh wait, it's coming. Hate on me all you want. I like this and it's good. I have the iPod jailbroken, so I'm cooler. Okie dokie, will do. Imagine having a hacked phone, literally making the sky the limit on what you could do with it, and choosing to do this instead. Like, what was the point in committing to the effort of hacking your phone if it's gonna look like the average iPhone of a 12-year-old in 2013? I may or may not be a Studio Ghibli fan. Anyways, Howl's Moving Castle has been my favorite movie at the moment, so I thought to theme my phone after it with all of the green elements. Oh, everybody is a Ghibli fan, but then name something basic like Spirited Away, Totoro, or Howl's Moving Castle. Live a little. Let me know when you watch more of their obscure stuff like, I don't know, Grave of the Fireflies? Now that is a great movie to watch with the whole family. Be sure to thank me later when you do. Anyway, you definitely set the tone for your moving castle theme with your lock screen. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better than this, so let's just sit here a while before I have to acknowledge the mess that follows. Okay. Man, what the? First off, the colors of your app icons are bad. I think the desaturated green mixed with the saturated shots you chose for your widgets and wallpaper doesn't mix well, and it looks pretty muddy and jumbled as a result. It looked fine in the lock screen because the color of the sky was different. Here it just sticks out and looks bad. Not to mention, the widgets themselves are also a bit much. Less is more here. I'm positive that there's a smaller and hopefully better looking calendar widget you can use too. Everything is taking up too much space. I look at your setup and I am immediately overwhelmed. How do you get anything done with this? I use my own custom theme that I made. Wait, you made this? I'ma be real, bruh. Don't make nothing else. I recently had the urge to play my 3DS, but now I'm gonna have to delay playing it for 6 more weeks like a groundhog just saw a shadow. What is this layout, man? You're killing me. I like Arcane a lot and like having all I need in one page and having only one page. I mean, I guess, man. The lock screen is cool and all, but then I look at your home screen and I'm like, bruh, do you really need all of this stuff on your first page? Are you gonna die if you don't have access to Facebook and Netflix immediately? I can't even see the wallpaper underneath. Yuck. Haven't done much to the home screen, but at least it's a lot cleaner than when I first got it working again. Running the classic is cool and all, but you have some explaining to do. You call your folder full of racing games racist? I swear you can't make this up. I didn't think hearing ka-chow would be followed by a slur. Childhood ruined. I'm gonna have to end it on that note, man. Here are my top picks. What's yours? I hope you guys enjoyed this thick episode of Roasting Home Screens. Don't forget, if you want your submissions to have a guaranteed spot in future videos, or you just want to support me in this series, then be sure to pay for a tier on my Patreon along with my Rotten Pro subscribers, Let's Go, Francisco Beck, and Miss Game. Thank you all for the support as it keeps me dropping videos consistently, and thank you, viewer, for watching. If you want to see more of me, you know what to do. You know, usually I would get hounded by comments to keep making roasting home screen videos, and I'd be like, bro, I just made one. But I checked, and the last roasting home screens video was in like October or November. So yeah, that's my bad. You got that one.